Hello everybody, it's TannerFishies here, back again with a new Ninjago video here on the channel. In today's video we're going to be taking a look at these 5 Ninjago minifigures, which just so happen to be the rarest and most expensive minifigures in my own personal collection. Now obviously I've been collecting Ninjago minifigures for quite a few years at this point, trying to complete the main collection of Ninja, but along the way I've collected a couple of other random figures, as you'll see right now, and these guys actually go for some pretty ridiculous prices on websites such as Bricklink. So I figured in this video I would do my best to kind of go through each of these 5 figures. From left to right we have the rebooted Overlord, we have, I believe that's Crux right there, Lloyd DX, Acronix, and Neuro, Master of the Mind. So these 5 figures are the most expensive and most rare in my personal collection. These are not the rarest Ninjago minifigures of all time or anything like that, but these are the 5 rarest ones that I have in my personal collection. Like I said, I figured I would go through each one of these figures individually and give my personal thoughts on them, and also state what their highest price is right now on websites such as Bricklink, which will be our primary source for prices throughout the remainder of this video. So let's go ahead and get started. I think I want to take a look at Lloyd DX first because he's front and center. So why don't we go ahead and do just that. All right, so the first one that we're going to be taking a look at here today is Lloyd DX. This one came out in a very obscure Target exclusive minifigure cube that was included alongside a couple of other minifigures. Lloyd DX here is supposed to be a representation of what Lloyd may have looked like if he would have, been the Green Ninja during the DX days of the Ninja. This is of course his Dragon Extreme variant. As you can see, it's not exactly the same as some other DX Ninja that exist out there. For example, the helmet is a ZX molded helmet with no printing, it's just a regular green one, and he does indeed have the ZX golden shoulder pads, so he's kind of like a cross between ZX Lloyd and a theoretical DX Lloyd, but this is supposed to be, as I said, DX Lloyd. Taking a closer look at this guy though, he's got this face, very brand new Lloyd face this go around. No back printing for the face if I'm remembering correctly. Yes indeed. And I really like this face. I actually think that this face is pretty cool for Lloyd. It's kind of accurate to what we saw in the show, but also different at the same time, so that's something. And I suppose we should probably take off the ZX pads really quick so you can check out the back of this figure, which does indeed feature his dragon emblem and his name. For prices on this guy, Bricklink is pretty much placing him anywhere up to $72 USD, which is fairly pricey when it comes to a minifigure, obviously, especially considering how most figures are around $5 in value. This guy sells to up to $72 on Bricklink, so very interesting there. Not too sure what to make of that. He is quite rare, and a lot of people really do want this figure. Me personally, it's not my favorite incarnation of Lloyd ever, and I definitely prefer some of the more TV show accurate versions, but I do appreciate having this guy in my collection because he is quite nice on his own. Next up we have Neuro, the Master of the Mind. This guy came out in a very specific, I believe it was a Bricktober Ninjago minifigure pack, alongside a couple of other figures. This guy though was the only one of the 4 Bricktober figures that I was even remotely interested in picking up, just because I want to complete my Elemental Master collection, and Neuro here definitely fits in with that collection. As you can see, his printing is quite basic. He doesn't have any leg printing, his torso printing is very basic as well, and of course his hair is not super accurate to what we saw in the show, but it's close enough. If we take his hair off really quick, you can see that he does not have an alternate face, though he does have some very simple back printing as well, and I really like this figure. On Bricklink, he sells anywhere up to $75, so a little bit more expensive than Lloyd DX, but I only paid $40 for him. So if you can find him for a little bit of a cheaper price, I'd recommend picking him up, but like I said, the cheapest I could find was $40, and he sells all the way up to potentially $75 on Bricklink. So like I said, kind of a rare figure here. The Elemental Masters are very much desired among Ninjago fans, and this guy might be the rarest out of all of them. Next up here we have the Golden Master Overlord, otherwise known as the Overlord from Season 3. Now this guy came out in only one set back in 2014, the Battle for Ninjago City, which was a set that I actually bought myself. It was one of the first sets that I actually bought with money that I had earned working at my summer job at the time. I was only 14 2014, and this guy was one of my most prized Ninjago minifigures back in the day, and he still is now. I really like this version of the Overlord. I could have done without this slope piece. I know nowadays they have better alternatives for that, but regardless, this figure does look pretty cool. As you can see, his helmet does kind of cover up his very nice face print. He's also very reflective and very gold. I like that. He has some back of the head printing as well, and overall this figure is quite impressive in terms of print. I remember being very excited to get my hands on this figure. For prices, this guy actually goes for quite a bit on Bricklink. Of course, you can find him cheaper than this price, but the most expensive that I found him on Bricklink is $198, which is quite crazy. You could buy literally multiple Ninjago sets for that price, or you could just buy one Overlord figure. Either way, this figure is quite impressive, and like I said, it is quite rare, only coming in one set, and that set was very expensive back in the day, meaning that this guy's value is kind of ridiculous, but I still really enjoy this figure nonetheless. I think this figure is awesome in terms of what he is, and he's definitely my favorite Overlord minifigure that exists right now. Next up here we have Crux, one half of the Time Twins. Now both Time Twins do sell for quite a bit because both were exclusive to one set back when Hands of Time was coming out. I think that set was the Dawn of Iron Doom, and like his brother Acronix, Crux here is a very, very cool looking figure. I love the hoods used on the Time Twins, and as you can see, Crux here, you can take his hood off to reveal his regular face. If I can focus in on that a little better, you can see that. There you go. And also he does have a duplicate face, which is his other identity, Dr. Saunders or whatever. But I really enjoy both of the Hands of Time, and both are quite rare, both selling on Bricklink for the max price of triple-digit values. Crux here sells up to $110 on Bricklink, so not as expensive as his brother Acronix. We'll get into that later on, but Crux here does still sell for a very high price. Obviously, you can get him cheaper than that, but the most expensive that I found him on Bricklink was $110. I really like the printing on these guys. Like I said, the Hands of Time prints are very intricate and very unique. I love the clockwork going on in the center of his torso, and if we go to the back, you can see he does have a nice green cape. So that's going to pretty much wrap it up for our friend Crux here. Let's go ahead and wrap up this video by taking a look at his brother Acronix, which is actually the most expensive figure in this lineup. And here is Acronix holding the other two Time Blades. Now, like I said, with Crux, this guy's print is very intricate and very, very unique in terms of, I guess, the Hands of Time themselves. He is quite similar to Crux in a lot of ways, but ultimately he is his own figure. If we take off his mask, you can see his face print, which looks quite nice. He does not have a duplicate face like his brother does. However, unlike his brother, this guy sells for a ridiculously high price. On Bricklink, you can find him up to $214 USD. That's kind of a crazy price for Acronix here. Acronix is the most expensive out of all of these minifigures, meaning that this guy is technically, in theory, the rarest figure in my collection, which, you know, I would accept that. I like Acronix as a character. I think he's a lot better than Crux, and his price point definitely supports that a lot of other people really like him a lot more than Crux. Like I said, though, these Hands of Time figures are very unique and very detailed in terms of printing, and apparently they're really expensive in terms of price as well. Like I said, Crux sells for around $110, while his brother Acronix here sells for almost double that. So very impressive on Acronix's part, and he is the rarest figure, or at least the most expensive figure in this entire lineup. So there you guys have it. These are the 5 rarest and most expensive minifigures in my own personal Ninjago collection. Like I stated throughout the video, Bricklink is a very popular site to buy and sell used minifigures, and sometimes you gamble with the website for sure, but they have been very good to me in the past, and of course I figured I would just shout them out in this video. Not sponsored, by the way, in any way, shape, or form, but let me know down below in the comments what you think about this video. What do you think of these 5 figures in particular, and what do you think of their prices? Also, feel free to leave a comment down below talking about what your most rare or most expensive Ninjago minifigure is, and if you have any of the 5 figures that I showcased in today's video. Thanks a lot for checking out this video, guys. It means a lot to me that you've stopped by and supported the channel. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, do all that fun stuff if you enjoyed the video, and check out the links down below in the description for my other forms of social media. As always, big shout out goes out to my Patreon supporters, including once again the marvelous Jan. Thank you guys so much for checking out this video once again. My name is TannerFishies, and with that I bid you farewell.